Yes. So welcome to our show. And today is book 15. So what's book 15, Chris? Okay. So book 15, I think it's one of Chris's favorite book. It's also my favorite book as well. It's one of my top book that I go to as a reference for a lot of the stuff we do. It's called Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. So Daniel Kahneman is actually a psychologist, I think, but he has a Nobel Prize in economics, behavioral economics, and that's one of those things that it's surprising to me as a psychologist. You can actually learn something useful in other field, and I find this thing to be one of the biggest findings that history has ever got. So they award him and his partner the Nobel Prize.
I think it was for prospect theory, wasn't it?
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know he is for economic behavior economics, right? So it's economic because the concept of the psychologies and what he have found applies to this particular niche, and this actually been kind of like a game changer for this kind of segment.
Do you want to give a quick description, high level review of Thinking Fast and Slow, or do you want me to?
I think you should do it.
Okay, all right. So at the highest level, this is a pretty complex book, and I think it's one of the reasons why Trieu and I both really love this book is for two reasons. If I'm going to put words in your mouth, but correct me if I'm wrong. One, it's a challenging book. Like you learn a lot in it, and it's something that's not common knowledge, I don't feel like, for most people when they first read this book. So you're learning a lot of new things. And then the second part is it's really challenging, too. I mean, there's a lot of topics in this book. I mean, this guy, him and his Daniel Kahneman and his partner Amos Tversky, like they were just like a machine of psychology experiments and behavioral economics experiments that pretty much every damn near nonfiction book that you read these days like references these guys. And they spent a lifetime of just taking long walks together as partners and talking about just complex problems and finding solutions to stuff. And their life's work was around things that they like to call biases and heuristics. So this Thinking Fast and Slow book was basically a compilation of an entire lifetime of work from Daniel Kahneman and his colleague Amos Tversky. At a high level, what this book is about, it's about your two brains, as they like to call it. They call it System 1 and System 2. System 1 is your autonomous brain, the animal brain, the stuff that we just do automatically, like breathing, processing our food, body movements, or language, or stuff that you naturally do that you don't even think about. All the complexities and that our amazing bodies are able to do just automatically without any I guess push, or an additional, like our mind having to play a part in it. System 2 is more that rational mind where we have a little bit more agency over, and we have the ability to think and process and see things a little bit differently and a little bit more clearly and analyze. And that's kind of the System 2 side of the brain at a high level. So System 1 is, does pretty much all of our functions on a day-to-day basis. And System 2, you engage it when you need to engage it. But the real star of the show, per Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman, is really our System 1 brain. But our System 1 is not foolproof. There is flaws. Like there is areas where we have gaps that we don't just automatically understand. And that's where the whole biases and heuristics and engaging your System 2 brain to think a little bit slower to be able to identify those and then act going forward is kind of what this book's all about.
I think this book has a lot of stuff because it's his lifetime work. So I feel summary can't justify what the book is about. So I would highly recommend you pick it up and read it.
Yes.
So I think we are going to be talking more about other type of things from the single book. So this book to me, it's much more in terms of concepts and ideas than most other books. So we want to make sure that we kind of state the depth of what this book is doing and is giving us. So we'll kind of give you a little bit at a time. And so we'll probably just leave it at that, and then we'll come back later on for other stuff because there's a lot of great materials in this book.
Absolutely. And yeah, we're going to make a 5-part reflection out of this one. We're doing that for our top 5 favorite books. So we'll do a 5-part reflection. This one, we're going to focus on the first reflection. The reflection title is What You See Is All There Is. As you read, Thinking Fast and Slow, you hear Daniel Kahneman mention multiple times throughout the book, actually throughout the entire book, the idea of what you see is all there is. Literally, you only know what, like you have blind spots all over the place, and we all do. I mean, you can't know everything. We're mere mortals and human, and there are blind spots in your knowledge base. There are blind spots all over your life that you don't see every single day. And a lot of times, we just approach life, with what you see is all there is. And we think we have some context and we think we, know a path forward, but really, we're pretty blind to a lot of things that are going on around us. So those words in particular are what I wrote this reflection about. It really resonated a lot with me. And it's a reminder for me all the time that I need to always be questioning everything that I see around me, that I always need to be open to knowing that I have this bias of what I see is all there is, right? Look at what I can see and then question and be open to questioning that maybe I don't know everything. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing. Asking more and more questions, digging deeper, getting to the whys of stuff, and further engaging your brain to go deeper on stuff, and then further engaging that system 2 side of your brain to uncover areas that may be gaps that you don't see today. I've always questioned things. I've always been a questioner in my life. That's always been kind of one of my core values at a high level. So this isn't something that was totally new to me, but at the same time, like hearing as he, approached this and went through this entire book, there's hearing all the biases and heuristics that they laid out, that I'm sure there's thousands and thousands of more that our system 1 brains cannot really fully understand or comprehend, that we just, go through our life every single day with blinders on, like it was just so eye-opening, going, damn, like, I really don't know anything. And there's so much more to question and fun to have in this world, and to explore and to try new things and to learn new stuff. So that's at a high level, that's my takeaway from this first reflection on Thinking Fast and Slow, of what you see is all there is. What are your thoughts?
So I do take this reflection title to heart, just because I have made a lot of mistakes in my life. And with knowing my tendency or my humanity, our tendency is to think we know everything. And so what you see is all there is essentially, to me, a reminder to say, I need to slow my decision making. I don't need to jump into the conclusion, because I'm sure there are other information that I can't see. And so I don't make a rash decision that I regret. So when I take this mantra and live this mantra, I become, I guess, more considerate of people and in situations. And it actually minimizes my regrets, because, whether you're going to jump to a conclusion and you get angry at somebody and you did something that you didn't intend to, based on the lack of information.
Right.
In some of the experience that I have observed, 99% of all the situation that I've been into, there's always new information that came after. And so this reaffirms to me that this is something that it is actually very common, in terms of we don't know a lot of stuff, and we tend to make wrong decisions based on not having all the information at our disposal. So if we can slow down a little bit and lift this mantra, say, well, there got to be another explanation. Maybe I should take that into account before I do something. And so to me, that helps minimize that regret that you have.
Yeah.
And so I've actually been taking this mantra to heart, and I've been living it. And I'm so far have been quite been changed by it. So I'm happy that this is something I come across, and I've able to physically and mentally go through and live by that concept and idea. To me, it's a life changer for me in my life.
I love that. I love that you're applying this to your life as well. Same here as well. And you're a father of 4. I'm a father of 2. Like when you look at your kids and you see them exploring the world and going, like I was just watching Luca pick up a little orange. He was just holding in his hand for the first. He never held an orange before, and he's like, there's so many. It reminds me of the book that we're going to talk about later on down the road, of A More Beautiful Question, when he talks about kids ask somewhere between like 200 to 400 questions a day or something like that. Like they're questioning everything. Like what they see is not all there is. They'll pepper you all day, every day with every kind of question you could possibly imagine, where you just get exhausted.
No, and Toyota actually take this concept and create the Toyota process where they ask the 5 why. They
Yeah,
keep asking the why until they find out really what is the real issue behind whatever problem they're facing.
right.
Asking the why elicit more information. So the more
Keep
information you
digging.
have,
Yeah,
then
just
you're
keep
able to
digging.
make better decisions, right?
Yeah, exactly. It also reminds me of a book that we just recently read that you recommended, The Never Split the Difference, when he's trying to uncover the black swan. There's always this game-changing concept out there potentially. Unless you look beyond what you see right in front of your face, you're never going to uncover that. You're never going to find that next epiphany, that next thing where you go, oh, aha. And then you can keep going and going. It's just infectious. It's addictive.
Yes.
Like when you take the blinders off and, take the red pill, if you will, I guess, if you want to go the Matrix route, and it just makes life more fun. Everything just feels more magical. Everything feels more possible. Everything feels more fun,
They give you a positive outlook on humanity just because everybody is seeing the negative because what they see is all there is. Because
Right.
a lot of times, whatever we notice is whatever that is fearful to us.
True.
So when we watch TV, we pay attention to something negative because negative in our minds say, hey, you need to make sure that you know this so
Right.
that you can escape. Or, you want to, like back in the ancient days where we have to watch for saber-toothed tigers, right? So we are conditioned, our brain's conditions to give the negative news more attention.
100%.
And so the thing is, a lot of times when we know our heuristic, know our tendency, we can look and say, well, we don't have to worry about the tigers anymore. But at the same time, our brain is still acting that way. Can we maybe stop and think about maybe there's something else? And having that allows us to explore this new sense of information and stuff that we would never have gotten if we acted on the first information that comes to our head.
It's damn near the genesis of Clubany, right? We what you see is not all there is for us, and we kept digging and we're still digging, and we have no idea where we're going, but we're still digging through this.
Yes.
We asked a beautiful question of, how can we live a more balanced existence with meaningful work and meaningful relationships and helping other people to achieve the same thing? And what if we found a way to combine that in a different manner than other people are doing it? Like, why does it have to be you either work at a corporation or you work at a nonprofit or you work at, you're a freelancer on your own or what? Why does it have to be this way? Why do you have to worry about money as the only thing? Why do you have to get investment from people in order to start a business? Why do you have to, like, there's so many different whys that we've gone down a rabbit hole of that we talk about every single night, but it's because this is when the fun comes into play. When you take the blinders off, you come up with ideas like America, and they're like, look, England isn't the only way to live. We can figure out a different way. Like, let's go across the world and we'll go try it somewhere else. We'll see this experiment come to life, and people that are frustrated with America today, go find something else, like invent something, do something, take the blinders off. Don't just fight with each other about politics every day, all day long. It's like, it is not the end of the world. It will go on, go find another path. Take the blinders off, it's okay.
There's a whole new world out there. Discover new worlds for you.
Challenge what's around you. So this book is just fantastic, and I can't wait to talk about the next ones to come. Any other final thoughts, or should we ask our question and
ask our questions, and maybe we see, revisit this book later on, because to me this is like top #1 book.
I agree.
It's my reference book. I go back to it. I read it twice. I still haven't got the bulk, like the most of the ideas that is in this book. And it is a rather long book, but he's very good at giving you a lot of examples, a lot of experiments to reaffirm the idea. So thank you to Daniel Kahneman and his partner Amos Tversky for writing this book. And I think it's a well-deserved Nobel Prize.
I couldn't agree more. And this is, I don't know if it's my #1 book, but I would say it's definitely in the top 2 or 3 for sure. It may be my #1 book. I don't know that I can definitively say that right now if you put me on the spot, but it may be. So our question that we can leave everybody with for this first reflection of Thinking Fast and Slow is, what are some areas in your life that might change if you took the blinders off yourself? Just something to think about, and look around you, look at something that you think you understand, and pretend like you don't. Ask a question. Till next time, and thanks for tuning in.
Well, thank you.